Pay's checkout is offered by your banks and credit unions. So when you shop online at participating merchants, your cards appear in one place. Pay's. It checks out. Activation required. See pays.com to learn more. Terms and conditions apply.
When it's time to scale your business, it's time for Shopify. Get everything you need to grow the way you want. Like, all the way. Stack more sales with the best converting checkout on the planet. Track your cha-chings from every channel, right in one spot. And turn real-time reporting into big-time opportunities. Take your business to a whole new level. Switch to Shopify. Start your free trial today.
Home, home, just wanna go home, home, back home. I've been gone for way too long. Home, home.
Welcome to Make Space, a home design show that empowers you to create spaces you're obsessed with. Tune in for conversations that dive deeper than pin-worthy rooms. Host Cara Newhart teases out the essentials of designing spaces that inspire happiness and serve your everyday life. Cara has been featured in House Beautiful, Apartment Therapy, NBC News, and Insider, and has collaborated with brands like Home Depot, Wayfair, World Market, and more. Here's your host, Cara Newhart.
Hey again, it's Cara, and I'm on a mission to help you find your style, learn to tackle home design without intimidation, and unlock the confidence to transform your home. On the show today, I have the honor of sitting down with Cortney Novogratz. You guys know that I am excited for almost every episode. It seems to be my go-to phrase, but there are just some conversations that I get to have that are really special. This is one of them. Cortney Novogratz is an interior designer, developer, and one half of the Novogratz design duo, who along with their husband, Robert, are beloved designers well known for their eclectic style and boutique-inspired furniture and home accents. They have been widely covered by global media for over a decade, having starred in TV shows on Bravo and HGTV, and recently published a book. It's actually more of a design Bible than a book, and it's called Novogratz Design Fix. Their products are sold at major retailers, including CB2, Amazon, Wayfair, Walmart, as well as their own store, shopthenovogratz.com. In this conversation, we cover everything from design tips to finding your style to how to design a space along with your family and friends, like designing and inviting them in on the process. This conversation is beautiful. It draws from Cortney's extensive experience, and I am beyond excited to share it with you today. So let's dive in. So welcome back to Make Space, everyone. Today I have such a special guest. I am beyond honored to have Cortney Novogratz on the show. We're going to dive into her design journey, all kinds of fun things, like her tips she's learned from years of experience as a designer, her book, her store, and so much more. So Cortney, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Cara, for having me. I love Make Space, so glad to be here.
Thank you. I'm so honored. So I always love to start off at the beginning, so I just want to dive in and learn a little bit about your journey into design. Was it something that felt like written in the stars for you, or was it something that you kind of found your way into via like a windy path?
Well, definitely growing up, I grew up in South Georgia. I loved design. My mom was kind of the mom that would, buy a one-room schoolhouse and move it on the property, and she allowed me to constantly change my room, but I don't think it really registered to me my love of design until I moved to New York. I'd actually came to New York to be an actress. But when I met my husband, Robert, in the state of North Carolina, we definitely shared that passion of architecture, design, art. And so in one sense, I'm not sure if our passion found us or we found it. Yeah. But when we decided to get married and again, live in New York City, and we knew that there would be a lot of children in our future, because that's another thing we shared. We wanted a lot of children. We bought our first kind of condemned building. And we learned everything on that job. And we, in one sense, Cara, knew exactly what we were doing. And in another sense, we had no clue. But that really kickstarted our career together. And it just kickstarted my, career as a designer. And I just have never stopped.
Oh, I love that so much. I love that it was a little bit of both, like full confidence and then not a clue, but just figuring it out as you go. That's beautiful.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's still how it is today, with
Yes.
every new thing we try, and the world is moving so quickly. I kind of knew exactly what I'm doing, and then it's still all new and fresh and able to allow for mistakes.
Yes, definitely. Well, I know so many listeners, I'm sure, have followed your career and are probably fangirling right now, which is exciting. But just for anyone that hasn't really been familiar with your work and to give them some context. So, you're a mom to 7 kids and you've designed epic spaces together with your husband all over the world. But your design approach seems very family friendly in that I feel like you know how to balance that show stopping design with practical functionality of everyday life with a big family. So, can you just share a little bit about your design approach and maybe highlight some of the ways that that's changed over the years?
Well, sure. I mean, my husband and I, again, love decorating. Had we come over, Cara, if we were all friends before
Yeah.
we got married, we would have rearranged your furniture kind of thing
Yes.
over some wine, And then, of course, people started hiring us to decorate for them. And so
Yeah.
it's been really fun. But the one approach that we kind of always hold on to, and I never have really gone away from that, is that I keep things honest. And so
Yeah.
function is really important. That does not mean I have, a bunch of kids and I have tacky plastic, kids' furniture everywhere.
Yeah.
But it is true that I have a family that needs to function first. And so I'm okay with, say, exposed hooks out in the open so everyone knows where to hang their backpack or their jacket. And so I just really allow for beautiful things, an incredible space with art and with really design elements, but it's still lived in. It still could be. I remember way back when I had to find a spot for all the newspapers, which people don't read an actual newspaper anymore, but I would just then buy a cool vintage basket and
Yeah.
pile them all there. So at least it looked kind of like creative chaos.
Yes.
And so I try to always ask a client, how do you live? Do you entertain a lot? Do you collect things? Well, if you do, let's display them in an artful way. And I just always kind of, live my life by that. Robert and I love throwing parties. We love entertaining. We would throw parties even when we couldn't really afford them.
Yeah.
We would have, pull up a great saxophone player from the subway and say, hey, do you want to come play and eat and drink for free at our party? And that was the way we were able to have live music. And so
Yeah.
I constantly ask people, design the life you want to live, but keep it honest and true.
I love that so much. And I really love the idea of creative chaos, just that you're living in this space and everything that you're actually using can be a creative expression. It's not design the house and then live in it, it's live here and kind of design to fit what we're doing. So I think that's so beautiful.
Yes. I mean, a lot of people, across the country, right, across the world now, they'll, go into a showroom and basically buy the entire showroom. Or think about when you think of fashion, they'll buy the mannequin. And that's not really reality. We
Right.
want something old, maybe that was passed down from our grandmother. And then we do want something from that beautiful showroom. And then we have some things that are really affordable and they
Right.
came from kind of a big box store or, so it's really layering and mixing, and not having a home that's a museum.
Mhm. Yeah, because in a way that's just easy. That's kind of the easy way out is just to buy a collection versus that intentionality and curating something that feels unique and special. I like that a
Exactly.
lot.
And that has a story
Yes.
that's called your own.
Absolutely. Well, I spent a lot of time going through your design portfolio before our chat, and there was so many incredible spaces, and it was really so much fun for me because I think you've seen almost every possible design challenge from like luxury design to kid spaces to small spaces to even a treehouse. And I know that you've written a whole book about this, which we can touch on. But first, what do you think your biggest advice is for the everyday girl who's looking to design a home she's obsessed with? drawing on that vast experience?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the biggest thing is home is so important to me. And I think now it's more important than ever. It's really our sanctuary. It's really where we come home and feel nurtured and feel alive. And so, whether you're in a temporary space or whether you're going to be there for a while, dig in and make it your own. And really, it doesn't have to cost a lot. There are incredible ways to start to decorate, but also keep in mind, there is no such thing as a dream home. It's a
Yes.
process, it's a journey. And so it doesn't have to be perfect overnight. Don't put off entertaining because you haven't like gotten the wallpaper up yet. Entertain and then entertain again once the wallpaper's up, and people will see that change. It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
And so there's incredible budget friendly ways to decorate. There's incredible things that could be temporary, like we collaborated with temp paper, for example. And it's
I
a
love them.
wallpaper that you stick on. And so that is something that you don't have to fully commit to. You can take it down easily if you get sick of it in a year. But it's really just looking either through social media. Way back in the day, I would have friends or clients pull magazine tears. Well, now we are bombarded in a wonderful way with so much imagery. And so if you see something, a photograph or a video of something that you like, hold on to that and then try to create that in your own house. Look at it and say, well, is it the whole room or is it that wallpaper I'm drawn to or that paint color or that sofa? And then figure out a way to make that happen in your own life.
Yeah. I love what you said about not waiting. I think that stuck out to me because I think with all that inspo and with all that's possible with our homes nowadays, it can be so easy for people to think, oh, when this happens, I will host, I will be happy, I will have the perfect space, I will finally feel like me, whatever that if is. But yeah, just the idea that like we're living our lives now and we're not waiting for our house to look a certain way to
Exactly.
do that. Yeah.
Well, Robert and I, the two of us, my husband and I, we were house flippers before that was even a name. And so I'm kind of like a high class gypsy in a sense. So I move all the time. I have my whole adult life and I'm so okay with it because I constantly want to keep creating, and doing the next place. I don't want to stop that. But with every project where I move into this amazing home, I treat it as though I am going to live there forever. I designed it with every, sweat and tear I could muster up. And then there's time to go. And I go into a temporary place until the next place. But even that temporary place, I quickly get unpacked. We hang pictures on the wall and we celebrate living there for that moment. And so that's the biggest key is, doesn't mean just stop decorating or, not do the kitchen renovation, pause everything, but to live as though this is the now, this is as great as it's going to get. And sometimes we go sideways before we go up, and sometimes we constantly keep moving forward.
That's so beautiful. I love that perspective so much. But yeah, circling back to your book, so it's called Design Fix, and I will absolutely link it into the show notes. But you share some chic and stylish tips for decorating in every scenario. But in terms of approaching like those challenges or maybe navigating some of the unknowns that come with design, do you have some like quick strategies for how to approach that? I know it's kind of like that journey and that experimentation, but what's your best advice?
Well, definitely whether in that particular book of ours, we have small spaces all the way up to some hotels, big homes as well. I would start with really your surroundings. So, for example, if there's one thing in that room or studio or apartment or house that really anchors the whole feeling, that's your kickoff point. That's your starting point. So is that the hardwood floors? Is that a fireplace? Is that the window? What is that? Is it an incredible light fixture? And really showcase that, but allow that to be your starting point. And so you can have vision through that, because chances are that's what spoke to you in the first place, is why you're living there and why you chose that place to be your home. And then really figure out within your budget, what your dreams are, and then kind of make a checklist. Can I get that in this time around? Or do I need to wait for that till the future? I mean, in my own life, I remember I was doing custom drapes for clients when I couldn't afford them for myself. By the time I was able to get them with the shade store that I've worked with for over 20 years, it was like I had arrived. But I was still the same Courtney before, and I was still doing my stuff before. But it's just a real treat to get those kind of layering. The first time you're able to buy a beautiful rug, things like that. So it's really kind of making your dream wish and then figuring out how to get most of that on that list. And there's tricks as far as mirrors can make a space look bigger, doing a gallery wall, and you can start with only 4 or 5 pieces and start in the center and allow it to grow over time. So I really kind of break any design rules where if it speaks to you, then it needs to be in your house. You don't have to have matching end tables. You don't have to have matching lamps. And that's really what makes something have the soul to a place or a character or a personality. Cara, if I came over to your place, I want to see something that's interesting, even if it's brand new and you bought it from the store. Is it a color that really spoke to you? Things like that.
Yeah. I can just hear all your vast experience coming through. That's really such an important approach. I love how you talked about, finding inspiration in the space itself, because I think with all the inspiration online and all the inspo images we're pinning, it can be so easy to grab onto something and try to copy and paste that into your home and retrofit it. And that usually results in a design that doesn't feel like you or doesn't fit the space. So turning to what speaks to you and looking at your actual space first and going from there, like
exactly. Well,
out.
I mean, if I come to visit you or you come to visit me, we're going to love something about both places, but it doesn't necessarily mean it works right in the center of New York City. I've had clients and they'll go on vacation and they want this kind of fountain or they want this spa-like place. And I'm like, we can take something from that. Maybe it's a wood bench or stool, but that was a spa in, say, Arizona. That's not going to work in, you have to think of where you are and let your place be honest and true. And you can still then maybe do an oversized photograph from that trip that meant so much to you and had those memories in that way. But you can't make a bungalow look like, a New York City loft. And, you have to keep a place honest,
Yeah, I love that so much. Well, you have kind of a really good one-stop shop for all kinds of inspo. You have this beautiful store with all kinds of amazing pieces. And one thing I noticed that's so cool that you offer is what you call a room in a box, which is like coordinating set of items like furniture and lamps that can be like your base of a room. That's something I'd never seen before. So I was very excited about that, but that might not even be the coolest thing. So what's your favorite part of the store, or maybe just a product you offer that we should know about?
Well, I think that's a great point, that room in a box really came to us because I have adult children now, ages 12 to 24. Yeah. And so getting them off to college, getting them into their first apartment, I envision, I love decorating. So of course I'm right there in the middle of it with them, of course, trying to bite my tongue and say, oh, I forgot it's your space. No, I'm kidding. But, my daughter, one is living out across the country in California. Let me just send her a room in a box, which is really like a starter kit for your first home. It can also be if you find yourself many years later downsizing or going through a situation that you're on to a next chapter and you need to start again. Because we constantly are starting over in a sense, or starting fresh and new. And so a room in the box really gives people that toolkit, that first kind of kickoff starting point where you get your basics, whether it's a desk office area or a living room or a kitchen area. Robert and I are kind of doing all the work for you and making it affordable. So, you can basically, Cara, get your whole living room, your sofa, your rug, your coffee table at Shop the Novogratz. But then some other great things that we have on our site and in our stores when they pop up every now and then across the country is basically fun art, affordable pieces. All of our furniture comes in a box. It comes with a little note from ours, welcome to the family, and it comes with a toolkit, and anyone can put it together. It's really easy. And for us, that's really what we've been working on for many years now, is how we can make decorating fun, first of all, not so daunting, where it can be inspiring and people can really believe in themselves.
I love that approachability, but also just the idea that you don't have to start from scratch. On the show, we talk a lot about designing in a void and how a lot of people come to design thinking of it as a blank slate, like where do I even start? But having that like structure where every choice builds off of it and you kind of have those core pieces picked for you. And then fun things you can add in like art. It just makes it so
exactly
easy.
Well, then, like, you maybe have your girlfriend over, or your partner, or some friends, or your mother, and then you figure out, what paint color do I want to paint? The Novogratz, we've done the sofa that goes with the chair, that goes with this rug, that goes with the coffee table. And guess what? In most places, it could be cheaper than dinner,
Mhm.
at least for the 9 of us when we go out.
Right.
So you have your whole house. But then what the neat thing is, do you want to do wallpaper? Do you want to paint a bold color? And if it's too much to do the whole room, then just do the ceiling, or just do a signature wall. And then that really can kind of, start your creativity, as far as, you're not going to do it overnight. It's going to be over time, which is great. You have friends over and say, come sit on my new futon, and what color should these walls be? What are you thinking? What do you see? And that's where design can be really fun. I mean, I actually live and breathe it and love it. But I understand most people can be really overwhelming, because you're talking about your home and you're talking about money. And that can be two really vulnerable things to bring out in us. But they're the most important things. And so it can be easy. It can be fun.
We'll get back to the conversation after a quick word from our sponsor.
Do you ever feel like you have all the right information from the podcast, from YouTube, from social media on how to create the space of your dreams, but you just don't know how to apply those tips and those strategies to your specific space? It can be so challenging. But I finally have a way to help you out one-on-one. You can book a DIY coaching session with me, or a design consultation. So if you want to tackle this space yourself, you just need a little guidance, and YouTube is becoming hard to navigate. I'll help you plan and tackle your home DIY project, including answering all your questions and helping you troubleshoot and pivot if you've started and you feel stuck. Or if what you need is more of the design strategy, you can book a design consultation. We'll meet on Zoom and talk strategies for your specific space. We can do a deep dive into one room, go over everything that needs to be fixed or changed in the space, and create a plan for you to make that happen. Or we can give your whole house some therapy and do a home walkthrough, talking about how to create cohesiveness in your space and assessing your whole house at the same time. This is the perfect next step if you've been loving the podcast, you love the strategies, but you're not quite sure how to create a space you're obsessed with because you need hands-on personalized help. We got this. I am here for you. Just book a coaching session or a design consultation and we will get hands-on with your space. Just go to calendly.com/Cara Newhart or find the link in the show notes to book so we can sit down one-on-one and tackle your space.
And now, back to the interview.
I love how you keep sharing how you can, involve people in your life in the process. Like, we're not going to get the space done and then invite them over. Like, come over in the middle. Let's talk about the paint color. Let's chat about it as friends and involve people in the process as you're entertaining. I think that's such a fun angle that I really haven't heard as kind of a design tip before. So I think that's beautiful.
Well, I'm a big cheerleader on It Takes a Village. And that's really Cara with everything in life. And even if we're not able to see our village in person, the incredible thing is we can Zoom, we can FaceTime, we can walk people through our space. We can have them over now, thank goodness. And really, at the end of the day, it's your place. But how fun to lean on other people that are going to enjoy that space with you.
Yeah.
And again, you never know, someone may be like, oh my goodness, I actually have this lamp. It doesn't work in my apartment, but I'm going to bring it over because it'll look fabulous in yours.
Yeah.
I'm constantly doing things like that with my own sister.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's so fun. Well, Courtney, you mentioned that you love shade space, and I know that on your store you have a collection with them. It made me totally rethink my current window treatments because the collection it
Yeah, the
shows
shade
nothing.
store, the shade
Yeah,
store, the shade store.
shade
Yeah,
store.
yeah.
Okay. So can you share about that collection and kind of what went
Yeah,
into it?
I would love to. So, I mean, I've been working with the Shade Store, which is also a family business, all these brothers, for many, many years. And the great thing is, all the kind of newest collections, or each collection we do with them, it's cool because they let Robert and I base it on whatever the next project we're working on, which is the Waverly
Yeah.
Place. And so it's really kind of like a nod to Parisian flair, but old school New York. But it could be anywhere. I mean, my girlfriend's putting it in her Palm Beach beach house. And it's just a lot of fun colors. We, of course, offer them in neutrals for someone that's a little shy of colors, and great bold patterns. And a lot of the patterns and inspiration came from this house, the Waverly Place that Robert and I are going to move into soon. And it's a 1826 townhouse in the middle of downtown Manhattan. And it had only two owners
Wow.
in a course of 200 years. So from 1826. So you can imagine there had not been renovations for a long, long time
Yeah.
when we found it and bought it. And so there was years of like wallpapers and layers of paint colors. And so as we peeled it back and started kind of opening up the home, it kind of took us on this wild journey through the decades. And so we found like beautiful zebra wallpapers, floral wallpapers, stripes and patterns. And that really just sparked, this kind of latest collection for us. And so we brought all those ideas and just updated it and brought it with the shade store. And so you can do solar shades, you can do drapes, Roman shades, you can mix and match the patterns. They're obviously going in my own home, and throughout every floor, from my boys' bedrooms to our bedrooms to the living room. And it's a great collection. I'm super excited about it. I put some in our home in the Berkshires, a place that we bought after 9/11. That's really been a shelter for us. And I can't wait to see it get in people's houses.
Yeah.
So there's also, we collaborated with Donald Batchelor, who's a very fun artist. And we did these oversized lips that my daughter Tula has in her apartment in Soho, in solar shades. And they're just so fun. I mean, literally, she says, Mom, everybody, that's the first thing they ask when they come over. So there's something for everyone, which is really fun. And I think it can really take people on a journey of, having a little sense of humor in your own home.
Yeah. Yeah, that's such a fun and unexpected place to put kind of a fun statement piece or a pattern. And I really love that it's inspired by your actual home, your actual projects. There were so many fun patterns, and I feel like I got the vibe that they're both bold and colorful, but then a lot of them felt classic. Like it didn't feel too risky. It felt like it could be kind of that classic staple piece in your space.
That can stand the test of time in a
Yes.
sense. Anytime you kind of go old school, everything repeats itself, and comes back over and over. But again, people do, hesitate to decorate their windows.
Yes.
And that's the reality, is you don't just have a pattern on a throw pillow or a deck pillow or your bedspread. You can do it on your windows. You can do it in wallpaper, so, you can decorate your doors. People, every inch of your house can be decorated somehow.
Yeah. And I love the thought of unexpected places, like not just sticking to the normal places to put pattern, but really thinking outside the box. Do you have any other like pro strategies for taking risk with color and pattern in
Well,
design?
I definitely do. I mean, most people, if you think of kind of your standard home, you'll think, okay, your baseboards and your trim are going to be white. And then there's the trend where you see, okay, the baseboard can match the walls and the door, and it could all just be this beautiful room wrapped in a color. And so you can also mix it up and paint the walls white and do a trim in a crazy bold color.
Ooh,
So when
yes.
people think, oh, I want to do that signature wall in a bright color or a bold color because I don't want to go too risky and do all four walls, you know what? Leave the walls white, paint the trim and the baseboards and the molding the bold color. So kind of flip it upside down from what is the average person to expect. And so little tricks like that, you can do back of doors, just one color. So it's a little surprise. But I think overall, my biggest goal, I think for myself or for the 9 family members in my immediate family or for clients or for anyone that buys our products and put them in their home is to believe in themselves that they are decorators, right? And that they can create a feeling to share with others. Cara, we always remember the feeling we had in a place. We may not remember the paint color. We may not remember the pattern on the wallpaper, but we remember if it was a really good feeling. And so that's what you have to try to achieve in life, in your home. And that's kind of something I try to live by.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful advice, especially for people that are getting bogged down in the details and feeling very overwhelmed by the design choices. Like, should we pick this color or this color that looks almost exactly the same? But to zoom out and be like, what are we trying to accomplish and what's the feeling? It just makes
Exactly.
those little decisions so much easier. It's
Well,
beautiful.
and the reality is there is no right or wrong color. I
Sure.
promise you, when you put it up on the wall, your eye never lies. Trust your eye. It will tell you if it's right or wrong because your gut will say, oh, I don't know. And so then
Right.
just repaint it. There's no right or wrong. Just go lead with your gut and believe in yourself. And if you're choosing and decorating a home with a partner or a roommate, you guys chose each other for a reason. You can do it together. Drink a
Yeah.
little wine. I think that helps. But
Right. Yeah, just make the process fun. But yeah, I love the idea that, with everyone having if you have multiple people living in a space, a partner or a family, that the whole house gets to be kind of a little piece of everyone. How have you done that in your home with such a big family? Is it kind of the common areas are you and then everyone gets their own room, or does the whole home kind of just feel like everybody's style?
Well, I mean, all of our kids really are super creative. Ultimately, Robert and I have the say, but
Yeah, yeah.
we definitely try to involve them. And through the years, as they've gotten older and changed, they have opinions, which is awesome, and I can lean and learn from them as well. But I think when you involve them, they have a say and they take ownership of their space. I mean, if they
Yeah.
got to pick out their bedspread or their just even the bins their toys are going in, they're going to hopefully clean up more. I've throughout the years tried to get hooks at levels where kids can reach them, so they take the initiative to hang up their coat. So anytime you give someone a say and a voice, they have more ownership, and that's super important. I mean, again, it's when I'm decorating for couples, ask them to really kind of lean on each other. And a lot of times it's stressful. I get it. I mean, Robert and I've had our battles through every
Yeah.
project, but if you don't both share in this space and have a say, then it doesn't feel like you're part of it. And so, again, throwing out ideas of wallpaper, throwing out ideas of colors, and then kind of guiding if that person is a little bit younger and wants to just,
Yeah.
do bubblegum pink
Yep.
everywhere. Maybe you just do the back of the door.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
But, not one person's always in charge. I think it's better if it's, a team effort.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I think when a lot of times people think of design, they think of designer, and then they think of like one person is the point person making all the decisions. But this concept of a collaborative effort between everyone living in the home, family and friends, the whole process being kind of just a journey. I think that
Exactly.
makes it so much more fun. That's really
Well, the
beautiful.
funny thing is, I remember our very first house again, almost 30 years ago. We painted it a very pale, pale yellow. and had flower boxes and, just scraped every penny to even get the paint to paint it. And
Yeah.
every New Yorker stopped by and had an opinion. They
Right.
either hated it, they loved it, And it was really interesting. I'd sit on the stoop and just hear everyone's opinion. And I would, of course, some of it really stung, it was like,
Right.
oh God, they don't like it. Did I do the wrong thing? But at the end of the day, they learned to love it, or they grinned and buried it. And I just focused on the positive, the ones that did love it,
Yeah, absolutely. I think I had a similar experience in like putting my work on the internet. Like you're never going to please everyone, but I think it's become more exciting to me to create a conversation. Like if I do something safe, people aren't talking, but if I do something risky, now people are talking and sharing opinions and, discussing. And I think that's really fun to be able to facilitate that process. And it's like, that's true art, is getting people to feel something.
It's
So
exactly. And it's so great because some people aren't able to get to fun stores or see things or travel, or, you kind of get really caught up in your environment. And so it's wonderful to kind of step out of that lens and see things through another eye.
yeah, I love that so much. So can we talk a little bit more about the current project, the new home on Waverly Place? Where are we
Yes.
at in that process? Are
I hope
you
I hope to move in tomorrow. No, I was there this morning. It's good. I mean, obviously, building during a pandemic has not been easy. It's not been easy anywhere in the world, no matter what industry you're in. And so, I feel just fortunate to be working and our guys able to come to work and us building. But again, it delays everything. And so, the great thing though is we are going to be moving in. It's an incredible house. Again, pulling on all of our partnerships with Temp Paper, the Shade Store, has been amazing. That will just kind of sprinkle in all of our personality throughout the house. And the great thing is that we're going to, have people over, use it for fun events. It's just a really spectacular place, right in Greenwich Village. The house was really built before Washington Square Park, if you're familiar with that, was called Potter's Field. So that's how long ago, 1826.
Wow.
And it was really kind of an art mecca for the progressive movement that made Greenwich Village what it is, today, and has been for so many years. And our particular building housed so many things, from poets to artists. And so I'm just so excited to keep that going in that house. It has a big space, like a ballroom kind of top floor with 25-foot ceilings. And so we're just going to bring every opportunity to anybody that needs to kind of express themselves to come there. And it'll just be really a neat home. So I feel so honored to be able to bring it back to life. And so hopefully we'll move in soon. And then, of course, Shop the Novogratz is got the room in the box for everyone. Lots of different styles, incredible price points. I'm sure you took a look and saw, Cara. And that's the biggest thing, is that, you think you can just get your entire house. We are doing the fundamentals, the basics, the kickstart point. We're doing all that work for whoever gets a room in the box, but then you can have the fun with it and make it your own by doing the layering, doing the decorating part. So that's been really a great project.
So exciting. So I hear that you have a new collection coming soon. Is this the furniture collection?
Yes, Cortney's collection. I sure do. That's going to be launching soon at stores. I can't say exactly when. We just went to market and presented that. And the awesome thing is, my kids put it to test. My daughter even was able to kind of move around and sleep and sit in every piece of furniture. So
test it out all the way.
Pretty much told me what she wants, what she doesn't want, what will work in her place, what will work better in her sister's place. So, so we're really excited about that. And, Robert and I are just constantly trying to create really strong pieces of furniture that look incredible, but that don't break the bank. And that's what's been our biggest goal and challenge, is to have something look new and fresh and really have, a flair to it, but they can get to you in a box, that can get to your house no matter where you live, and that you actually can afford to buy. and take some risk in other areas in your house and design wise. That not everything's going for that expensive, oversized sofa. That you can kind of refresh from time to time and go to the Novogratz to look for pieces that will work.
Yeah. I love that you're making design approachable and making it so easy for people to get those core pieces so then they have that foundation that they can build off of and have fun with the creative process versus feeling like they're starting from scratch and don't even know where to go. So that's so exciting to me as, someone that's working to empower people to design themselves every day. It's like amazing when you find, people like you with such intention behind that mission and such literally amazing pieces to back it up. So that's beyond exciting.
Which is great. I mean, we all kind of do go to the same places. We're out shopping a lot at a lot of the same stores, and we're seeing a lot of the same things. And Robert and I basically are trying to provide furniture that, let's say, okay, you're boho or you're traditional or you're contemporary or you're modern or you're eclectic. There's kind of like the basic amazing pieces, and we have an array of different colors, different fabrics. Whatever speaks to you, you can get it into your house, and then you can just keep layering on that. From our canopy beds, we have every shape, size, every color. And the great thing is, like I said, I mean, you can buy it, and if it doesn't work in the one room, it didn't break the bank. You can put it in the other bedroom,
Yes.
Which is really fun. And we've got a lot of our pieces in our own homes. And it's just, that's been really the fun part about being a designer is, I definitely design for, the super wealthy, which is always very fun. And then I love decorating for all walks of life, and seeing it get into places all over the country.
Yeah, that has to be so exciting. I can only imagine. Just to kind of wrap up, I want to make sure everyone can connect with you online, not only looking at your books and looking at the store for the Room in the Box or some of those amazing collections, but where can everyone connect with you day to day, like on social media?
Well, I'm Cortney Novogratz with no U. So Cortney, Novogratz, Novogratz, or follow us at the Novogratz, which is basically my entire family, my entire brand, everyone that works for us. It takes a village. It's all of us. Lots of interesting tips there. And I just thank you so much, Cara, for having me. I love talking design and home. It's my favorite things.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I'm so honored to have you on, and I cannot wait to inspire everyone with this show. I'm so grateful for your time.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. #obsessed. This week, I am re-obsessed with temp paper. We talked about this a little bit in the episode because Cortney and her husband have a collection with them, but I've used temp paper on quite a few projects, and I really, really love the wallpaper, and here's why. With this trend of wallpaper and renter-friendly peel and stick paper, there's a lot of peel and stick wallpapers that aren't actually temporary. So they claim to be temporary and renter-friendly, but the adhesive on them actually isn't meant to temporarily stick to walls. So these are more of a contact paper based like vinyl sticker. So a lot of the ones you can find on Amazon and even some retailers. So this isn't a problem if you are not planning to have to take it down, like you're not a renter and you don't necessarily want it to be temporary. Then you can go all out with whatever paper fits your style and your budget. But this is for those of you that are concerned about it being temporary, whether because you're renting, you don't want to ruin the walls, or you just don't want to commit to the style. You want to be able to remove it later without any damage. Temp paper is actually temporary, so the adhesive is actually created to be able to be pulled down and not have any damage to your walls. And having had experience changing my mind a lot of times, I know this to be true because I have made the mistake of getting paper I thought would be temporary and damage-free, and it just wasn't. So I'm obsessed with temp paper. They're a really amazing brand. I've had the opportunity to partner with them on a couple projects, and they are seriously amazing. They have the cutest prints, and they're always coming out with fresh new prints and collections. So if you're interested in wallpaper, you want a budget-friendly option that is truly temporary, check them out. This specific segment is not sponsored. I just really love them. So yeah, that's what I'm obsessed with again this week. Psst, if you're still here, that means we need to be friends. Hop over to Instagram and follow me at Never Skip Brunch if you want DIY projects and more design inspo. Or if you want to get connected for podcast-specific updates, hop over to Make Space Pod and you can stay in the loop for when new episodes drop. See you on Instagram.
I'm on my way back home.
Thanks for listening. If this is your first time listening in, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay in the loop with the newest episodes. If you're a subscriber and you love the show, be sure to rate, review, or a screenshot and share your favorite episode on social.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.